Thank you for joining me here on the last segment of today's show to talk more about a bit more of a fun topic here. A.J. Brown wants a wide receiver university in the NFL. To give some context, I'm sure we already know of the tight end university that has been very popular since starting in 2021 by George Kittle, by Travis Kelce, and Greg Olsen, with the goal to bring tight ends together to just get better, learn from each other, and create this sort of brothership, this bond between tight ends everywhere in the NFL. It is good fun to see when they all get together. I'm sure you guys see clips of it everywhere on social media. And now they're getting a lot bigger. It is growing. It is good to see, I think. Since 2021 and where it is right now, they're having all these, it seems like, events outside of just on the field things. It just started with on the field things, but now they got more, sponsors coming in, more eyeballs on it, growing it a little bit more than just learning off of each other. I think it really benefits them in all aspects of being a professional athlete and maybe things outside of playing football. So this year's edition has just been, has just passed, has been very successful like it always has been, just growing more and more each year. And now A.J. Brown has seen this. He wants the same for wide receivers. Maybe he's a little bit jealous of it. Nothing wrong with that, but he has seen it, and he took to he took to Twitter to tweet out to all the wide receivers out there last week and to sort of call them out, tell them that they should get something going like this, because he said in his tweet, "Wideouts, what's up? The tight ends got together for a weekend. The DBs link up. The pass rushers even get together. Come on, guys. We can't be too big time to link up and learn. I'm a fan of everyone and willing to work with whoever. Let's make it happen, wideouts." Tyreek Hill was one of the wide receivers that saw this, and he responded with a "Let's go, bro." Des Bryant also responded, willing to join in and drop some jewels, as he put it in his tweet, give some guys some knowledge from one of the more successful receivers in the last decade of the NFL. So he is willing to get involved. And I believe just off of the fact of that, throwing this idea out there into the universe, I think it's not long before now we see a wide receiver university, a running back university, a quarterback university. The idea of player empowerment, this idea of players versus the league versus the owners, I think is growing just based off of the fact of the 18-game regular season that we started this entire episode off of. The idea of more player power coming from college, where players now have the NIL deals, they're working things out for themselves, they're working out endeavors outside of the game of football and just taking on more responsibility that way for not only their careers, but just them as a person, as a professional, now coming into the league and trying this out as the idea of getting together, creating more of a bond with these sort of things like wide receiver university, tight end university. I think it's only a matter of time before everybody starts getting together in their position groups, just coming together more and more often when they have to deal with situations like a new CBA, NFLPA situations, 18 games regular season, growing the game internationally more. I think we're going to see them drift now more into these groups where they look upon to each other a lot more for help, for support. And this is a fun way of doing it. I think it's only the start of it. Like I mentioned, I think there's going to be a wide receiver university like A.J. Brown has hinted to. I think it's a great thing. And it makes me think of those older players like you see in all sports, in the NFL and in the NBA more often, where they're not probably the biggest fans of this because it almost seems like you're being friends with your opponents. That's always the biggest thing. Players, the veteran players, the old retired guys might think, "Oh, like, we never did this in my day. This was never, I would have never gone together with this guy off the field because they're the enemy. We have to keep it as a competition. This isn't something that is good for sports." I think that is drifting more and more away from the truth and how the NFL players and how the current athletes see it now in the current days, because with player empowerment, with the situations like I mentioned before, it's going to help push these players more and more together, growing off of each other, supporting each other. I think that's going to be a reality in the entire thing, whether they call it whatever they wanted to call it. More and more, we're going to see players come together and form these little things that will support each other on the field as well as with things off of the field as well. And on the topic of the older retired players, the veteran players not really liking this, the idea of the NFL being more soft, as some fans, some analysts would like to say, how it has shifted more to be more offensive oriented and pushes, I think, the way that the NFL has been going, like I mentioned, with being more offensive oriented, with being more soft, adjusting the rules to benefit the quarterbacks or the offense, however you want to say it. Trending in that way, while it might push the idea of wanting to be safe, it also pushes for a friendlier atmosphere, I believe, because now, rather than seeing all the dangerous, tough, nasty, grueling defensive games that we see, guys getting hit in the mouth, guys getting pushed, there's no more taunting, there's no more trash talking. You have to watch what you say, watch what you do. You can't be too much over the top. Pushing that agenda a little bit more, it might push for a cleaner image, a cleaner aspect of it, but you're also pushing it to be a bit more friendly. You know, guys aren't in each other's face. They're not celebrating in the opponent's face, really getting under their skin. If some guy comes over the middle and hits you in your mouth, hits you in your chest, you're obviously not going to like it. You're not going to feel good about it either. You're going to get up, you're going to start some trash talk, and it starts to become, you don't want it to be personal, but it almost starts trending and being more aggressive, more nasty. And that way, the older players, like you see in the olden days, I shouldn't say olden days. That was out of line. That was out of pocket. But you know what I mean. In the old, the years back to the 2000s with the Ravens and the 2010s even a little bit, they were all about that. You know, getting in each other's face, talking, being intimidating outside of just playing the game of football. You don't really see that agenda being pushed now. The NFL is pushing away from it. And that's another reason why it is starting to become friendlier. With these guys being friends now, you get the wide receiver universities, the tight end universities, and stuff like that. That is all being pushed now with the agenda that the NFL wants to push for a safer game. You don't get those nasty rivalries anymore. And whether you like it or not, I really don't mind it. I still think, not to say that rivalries are completely out of the game, but it isn't the same. I think most people would agree with that. And, you know, I think it's just the reality of it, with the nature of the game, trying to take the violence, the nastiness out of football. You're going to get, you know, friendlier games, friendlier atmospheres with guys that want to go out there and see each other score, want to see each other have fun. It's all nice, and it is all smiling and laughing and stuff like that. It is just what it is right now. I think we're going to get, I expect there to be a wide receiver university, but where this is all trending towards, it is just going right along the lines of the NFL pushing for a safer game, a friendlier game, a high-scoring game where nobody gets hurt, nobody's upset, there's no malicious intent. Not that there was before, but you get where I'm going with all of that. Them pushing that agenda, you're going to see more of this, more of the players coming together with the 18-game regular season situation, the new CBA trying to look out for each other now, pushing each other closer and closer. That's more of where the NFL is trending right now based on all the decisions that they make with more games, pushing a safer game, a safer football game to the fans. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't really mind it, but I would love to know what you guys think about it. Is this the way the NFL should continue to trend? Do you want it to be a bit more personal, a bit more nasty out there, where these guys aren't friends, where these guys aren't looking to hang out with each other in the offseason, learn off of each other in the offseason? Would you rather see that, or would you rather see right now where everyone is getting together in the offseason and they're all pretty much friends, as it seems like, with A.J. Brown pushing this new idea in wide receiver university? I don't mind it too much, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section after this episode, because that wraps it up for today's show. I want to thank you guys all for joining me on today's episode of the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the show, as well as checking out the network on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok for additional content. And also, if you want to see more of me and this show, check out the GSMC Podcast Network channel and the GSMC Sports Network channel on YouTube for more NFL content in various different forms on those YouTube channels. And as a final reminder, tune in every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for more conversations and discussions around the NFL with me, Manny Maradiaga, as your host. Thank you guys again for joining me, and I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to